thank you again to those of you that have joined. And I know there's people joining as we speak, and that's okay. We need to get rolling. I want to be sensitive to your guys' time and get you in and out of here as quickly as we can. I have been mentioned the last couple of minutes. You should have received an email this morning from us that has a PDF worksheet that goes hand in hand with this niche value proposition presentation. And I would encourage you to have that and pull that out. At least for those of you that would like to use this time to actually build your value proposition, we can do that. And I've done this a lot with a lot of loan officers and real estate agents, actually build a value proposition in 45 minutes. And so it's a lot easier if you've got that document up and in front of you. And so I encourage you to do that. With that, we're gonna roll. All right, so I want to kind of intro the topic. Why are we here? And what's the purpose that we're trying to serve this morning? How is this going to help you? And so a little bit of background. We're talking about this topic of value propositions, or you'll hear it unique selling proposition, a unique value proposition. I call it a niche value proposition. And the reason this is so important, as you can see on your screen, these are the four things I tend to hear, especially from loan officers, when I ask them about their business. What do you do? What's great about you? How are you different from your competition? And here's typically what we hear. I've got great rates. I provide great rates, or we deliver great service. Oftentimes you hear people share, I deliver, I've got every kind of loan product available to me at the company that I'm at. And then here's a big one as well. I've been in this business for 20 years, 30 years, 15, whatever, right? Like it's a highlight of experience. Okay. And none of these in and of themselves are bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? However, it doesn't really answer the question regarding how you're different from your competition. And I'm here to tell you again, as I've been working with loan officers, especially just coaching and consulting, doing this exact for the last 10 years, these four responses are so typical. And that's both when you ask a loan officer verbally, or you go to their loan officer page at their site. This is what you hear. I've got great rates. We deliver great service. I've got every kind of loan product. I've been in this business for a really long time. Okay. And again, that's great. But what makes you different? What makes you different in the marketplace? Why is a real estate agent going to choose you versus every other loan officer that's saying the exact same thing, right? And so again, a little more background. Well, actually, first, before the background, we'll say this. For you today, if this is compelling to you, if you're interested in owning a niche in the marketplace, right? You need a niche value proposition, okay? And your niche value proposition, your MVP, is the answer to this question. How am I, as a loan officer, unique, better, distinct from my competition? That's what a niche value proposition is. How am I unique, better, distinct from my competition, right? If everyone's saying, I've got great rates, I deliver great service, I've been in the business for a really, really long time, it doesn't answer that question. How am I unique and better and distinct, right? Those may be valuable, but because it's not different, it doesn't separate us in the marketplace. Okay, now just some background. When I first kind of got on this track of beating the drum regarding value propositions was back in 2015, and I was hosting a mastermind with top producers at a company called Eagle Home Mortgage. And on this call, there was top producers from all over the country, and they knew coming in that we were going to talk about value propositions. I was leading a discussion on this very topic, and they knew that I was going to be asking them, what's your value proposition? How are you different? How are you unique in the marketplace? Okay, and so they were prepared to share. And right before they shared, I let them know, you can't simply say, I deliver great service. Can't say that. Because everybody says that, right? It's just same as I deliver great rates, or I've been in the business a long time. So I kind of just took that one away and then said, okay, let's open it up and let's share and let's mastermind. Let's brainstorm on this, and let's hear what these top producers have to say. And honestly, like the result, it scared me. It scared me a little bit, because I was talking to some really, really great producers, great people, people that were closing a ton of transactions there. They were working with some amazing real estate agents. They were taking care of their past clients, their past client database. However, they struggled mightily in defining a value proposition, in answering that question, how am I different? How am I different? And so that for me was kind of a light bulb moment, because I'm on the phone with top producers, and they're really struggling. And I'm like, man, like if some of the best people in our industry struggle to answer that question, I could be assured most loan officers, most real estate agents are struggling with that same question. And it was something I struggled with as well, right? So that said, with that kind of as a setup, I want to build a little case here of why for those of you that are interested in this topic, you're here for a reason. And so let's talk about why a niche value proposition, how it's going to help you, why knowing and really believing in your value proposition, what is that going to help with? And here's some of the things that I shared. Number one, it is a tremendous boost to loan officer confidence. For those of you that are on the call that manage loan officers, whether you're a branch manager, sales manager, district manager, like this value proposition piece is so helpful with loan officers who are struggling with confidence. And we'll pop the next thing up here on the screen. Usually when we lack confidence, we've got call reluctance. And so knowing your value proposition, believing your value proposition, it helps with both of these things. Because if I know down all the way down and deep in my bones how I am different, how I am unique, how I am better, how I am distinct from my competition, if I know that and I believe that, that's a tremendous boost of confidence. And when we're confident, call reluctance, I'm not going to overpromise and say it disappears, but it is certainly abated big time, because the confidence is there. I know who I am. I know how I'm different in the marketplace. That means that I can step into the marketplace with a belief that, like, real estate agents, they need to talk to me. I can help them. I'm distinct, I'm different, I'm better than my competition. And so tremendous boost in reducing call reluctance. Additionally, when you know and believe your value proposition, it allows you to take a very complex subject and make it simple, right? So instead, like when a real estate agent asks you, like, well, what do you do? And we're rambling about, well, I've got all these different products, and I operate in all these different areas, and I've been in the business for a really long time. No. I'm able to condense, make a complex statement really simple. Here's where I'm an expert. Here's like it's a simple claim to being an expert in an area that makes a difference for that real estate agent or for that borrower. Additionally, when I'm speaking with confidence and I know and believe that I'm better and different than my competition, that that when I'm talking to a real estate agent prospect or a potential client, referral partner, like it allows me to build trust quickly. And trust is, I mean, we don't have time to get in that today, but when we are relationally marketing, building trust is the key. And I do a whole huge presentation on that. We don't have time to do that today, but like you want to build trust. And then additionally, and there's more just to say on this, but this is important. When you know and believe your value proposition, it's the end of chasing. If you ever feel like in your business, you're always chasing the next prospect, the next loan, the next transaction, the next borrower, the next referral partner, knowing and understanding and believing your value proposition, your place in the market, that you're unique and different and better and distinct. No longer do you have you won't feel compelled to go out and chase anymore. When you are an expert, that is it's an attractive component. People want to work with experts, and we're going to get into that today. But knowing and believing your value proposition, it's the end of chasing. And when I've worked with really high producers, top producers, one-on-one over the last 10 years. And this is something we talk about all the time. How do we end chasing? We want to attract people that want to come work with us. I'm telling you, when I do this one-on-one, this is what we're talking about. The value proposition is at the top of the list. Okay. And the ultimate benefit obviously is closing more transactions. And really, ultimately, I'd say too, closing more transactions in less time. There's a lot more that goes into that, but we'll leave that for now. So creating your niche value proposition. We're going to do this today in 4 steps. Okay. We're 15 minutes past hour. We'll go another probably 30 to 40 minutes. And we're going to, if you've got that worksheet, for those of you that just joined the last few minutes, should have a worksheet in front of you that was emailed to you this morning. And it walks through these 4 steps in building your value proposition today. So you're not just getting on this webinar, you're not just getting information, like it's a workshop. I've done this one live with a lot of different big loan officer groups, and we'll sit face to face, and this is what we're doing. And we're working through and building a value proposition during the presentation. So step 1 today, we're going to identify and narrow your niche in the marketplace. Step 2, we're going to create a headline. You'll create a headline, your headline. You're going to add 3 key benefits. And then step 4, we're going to merge everything together into what's called a 15-second MVP, or niche value proposition. So that's where we're going today. And we'll spend most of our time, actually, I'm going to use step 1 to kind of build this case of why it's so important to identify and narrow your niche, and kind of help you exactly do that today. So what do I mean when we're talking about narrowing your niche, narrowing a niche in the marketplace? Well, what I mean by that is we want to target a specific segment, niche in the mortgage industry that you can specialize in, an area that you can be an expert in. That's what we're talking about. Okay. And so I want to give you a few potential niche examples. So, and I'm going to go really fast through these, but I want to, basically what I want to do is just kind of get your mind turning a little bit, thinking a little bit, and get you like, one way to think through as you're trying to define your niche is, what area of the business do you really enjoy? What area of the business do you have some expertise in already? Is there an area of the business that already people are coming to you, borrowers are coming to you, real estate agents are talking to you about, you've received feedback from people, oh my gosh, you're so good at X, Y, Z. That most likely is going to be an area where you can brand yourself as an expert. So one of those might be a first-time home buyer expert, somebody who their entire focus of their outward marketing of their business and themselves as a person is regarding helping first-time home buyers. And we'll get into, in fact, I'll use that as our example today to kind of build out a value proposition. But other potential examples, maybe you're a luxury home expert. Maybe your expertise is in a specific geographic area. Maybe it's a zip code, maybe it's downtown, maybe it's out in the country, it's a rural component. So it may be that geographic piece. Maybe you're a short sale expert. There was a lot of that. Worked with a lot of people in that back 5, 6, 7 years ago. Perhaps for you, it's an investment property expertise and understanding everything that goes into an investment property purchase. Maybe for you, it's education. You love educating real estate agents, or maybe it's or educating borrowers. And I'll give you an example today of this education one that works really well. Maybe for you, it's working with people that have damaged credit and helping them get that repaired. And so for you, that's something that's really rewarding and you're good at. Because most people are not. Most loan officers are not. And so when you have that niche, right, like you're able to brand yourself as an expert in that space. Maybe you're a technology expert, leveraging technology. Maybe it's something product specific, FHA, VA, reverse, right? And there's, again, I'm going to click off of that because all I want to do with that is just get your mind moving, turning a little bit as you're thinking through this. Because there's so many examples, and really what we want is you're looking for what is unique about you. Okay, so going narrow. And I like to ask this question, like for you on the call today, when I'm talking about going narrow into a narrow niche, instead of casting this wide net, right? Like I can help anybody with any kind of loan, anywhere, any transaction, any product type. Like I can help anyone, right? So instead of doing that, we're saying, no, go narrow. You're an expert. You're an expert in a niche, right? And I know I've done this. I've shared this with a lot of loan officers. Oftentimes people begin to feel a little bit uneasy, a little bit uncomfortable with this. Kind of like, whoa, like, well, we'll talk about right now why, what questions for some of you, there's questions that are going on in your mind. And that is like, what about, like, if we'll go one more step here. If I brand myself as this, as an expert in this particular niche, aren't I going to miss out, right? Like I'm going to miss out on other types of transactions. And we'll go into that in a little more detail in a moment. But to be clear, if you're feeling uncomfortable about it, you're moving in the right direction, because a niche value proposition is the opposite of appealing to the masses. We are not trying to cast a wide net. We are not trying to appeal to everyone. I think how I would finish this piece up is, and we'll get into more detail in a moment, is that when we are talking to someone, we want our message to resonate with them personally. And you can't resonate with somebody personally when you're trying to appeal to everyone. So if I'm speaking to a first-time home buyer and I'm saying I can help anyone, anytime, anywhere with any kind of loan transaction, that just goes right over a first-time home buyer's head. We're trying to appeal to the masses. I want my messaging to appeal to a first-time home buyer, if that's the expertise that I'm bringing to the marketplace. Because that message is going, when I say I am a first-time home buyer expert, I help people who've never bought a home to understand the process, to get educated, to make great decisions. That's how I love helping people who have never bought a home to do that. That is like, all of a sudden that message resonates with a first-time home buyer, right? So yes, when you say, if you or any loan officer says, I can do every type of transaction, yes, it's a value proposition, but it's not unique. Everyone's saying that, and we don't want to appeal to the masses. So again, why am I wanting to go narrow? It's because we all want to work with an expert because we trust experts. And that's true. I don't care for those of you that are real estate agents on the call today, loan officers, life insurance agents, but in any industry, right? In any industry, any area of your life, we all seek out experts. And so just a quick scenario that's I think is compelling and makes sense, right? Like if you or somebody you love, right, comes down with a really rare illness, and there's only a handful of people in the world that even know what this illness is, have studied it whatsoever, and it's life-threatening, right? Like in a situation like that, are you going to trust your life or the life of your child with a family medical doctor, right? Or are you going to seek out a specialist? And of course, right, the answer is obvious. I love my family doctor, unbelievable. I love my PA. She's fantastic. They both have a broad grasp on all kinds of different, like the broken bone, the flu, COVID, right? Like they have this broad understanding, but like I'm not dealing with broad right now. I'm dealing with I've got a life and death situation. I need an expert. I need a specialist because we trust implicitly experts and specialists, a person who's dedicated their entire life to this issue, this disease, right? That's who I'm going to seek out. And the same is true in your business. The same exact thing is true in your business. It gives you the opportunity to leverage this for your good, or to ignore and go general. And I'm here to tell you, the niche value proposition, branding yourself as an expert, works every time it's tried. It does. It's attractive. Being an expert is attractive. So real quick, we'll jump into some quick examples of some what I call like painfully common attempts at value propositions. So this is the quick a quick survey of what is all over the internet, social media, loan officer web pages, real estate web pages, email, everywhere, right? Here's the painfully common attempts at value propositions. This is what we normally see. Okay, so this first one is just a clip off of a loan officer's website. Now, on his page, he was trying to say, this is what sets us apart. This is what sets our company apart in the marketplace. And I'm going to do a close up. This is the same page. It's just the snippet, and I'll read this. Here's what it says. We can offer every type of loan available, so you will always have access to the best loan for your situation. Many lenders are not approved to sell you the loans that might be best for you. Conventional FHA, VA, down payment assistance, USDA, right? Like it's broad and super, super, super common, both on loan officer web pages and company pages. When we say, I can do everything, I can do every type of loan available, again, it's not unique. It's not a targeted message. I mentioned earlier on the call, great messaging speaks directly to a prospect. So if I build a value proposition with expertise for self-employed borrowers, and I'm speaking the language of people who are self-employed. And I'm talking about giant tax returns. In fact, I'm an expert in that. I'm an expert in this. This is what we do. We help small business owners get into property, like with a first time or with a self-employed person. It resonates. It speaks directly to them, as opposed to a self-employed borrower who's hearing from a loan officer, I can do every kind of loan available. All messaging needs to feel personal to the prospect or the referral partner, not generic. Okay. Some other painfully common things that we see. This was from a profile page a couple of years ago. And I'll read a little bit of it. This particular person is committed to providing our clients with the highest quality financial services, combined with the lowest rates available in your area. Our outstanding mortgage professionals will work with you to ensure that you get a financial solution that's tailored specifically to meet your financial needs. I mean, this is boilerplate. It's super common. And again, as a reminder, the most common things that I see when people are talking and trying to differentiate themselves is they talk about, we have great rates, we've got great service, I've been in the business for 20 years, and I've got every kind of loan program. Those are super common. Those are not unique. And so my desire to help you today is first, what we're doing is trying to build a compelling argument to help you embrace this message of becoming a niche expert. This particular quote is by a gentleman named Jack Cotton. And really when I share with people, I point to Jack and say, like, this is a guy who embraced this niche expertise. He embraced this so early on as a real estate agent. In fact, his entire business today centers around coaching real estate agents who want to be a luxury expert. And really what I would say in both the mortgage and real estate industries, it's the real estate agents that really have embraced this becoming a niche expert much more than the average loan officer. And not that there's still tons of room for improvement in that, but agents by and large, as a population, do a better job than loan officers. And Jack is, he's amazing in that. But I love this quote. He says, this is as a real estate agent early in his career. He says, my track was to provide exemplary service and to be perceived as an expert in my marketplace, perceived as an expert. And he did that with a compelling luxury home value proposition, niche value proposition. He was not appealing to the masses. He was appealing to a very small segment of the population. So potential objection, we covered this a moment ago as well, but you may be thinking, if I choose a narrow niche, Jay, if I choose this really narrow niche, isn't that going to mean I'm going to miss out on other types of transactions? And my answer, again, is no, you won't. You're not going to miss out on other types of transactions. And the reason why we don't have time to go too deep into this, but we've got to remember that people are drawn to experts. It's attractive. It's attractive. So what tends to happen is when we choose a niche that we have, that we enjoy, we love, we've got expertise in, it's exciting and motivating to us. We embrace that niche, and then we begin to go out into the marketplace with that message that I'm an expert in this particular area. That's attractive. But what's interesting, it's not just attractive in the sense, like if I embrace, we said earlier, like a first-time home buyer expert, if I embrace that as my expertise, just the fact that I'm an expert is going to pull in other types of transactions. Real estate agents are going to seek me out, yes, because I'm a first-time home buyer expert, but they're going to seek me out because I'm an expert. And real estate agents want to work with the very best loan officers. It's natural. And the very best loan officers are experts. So, and one other thing to mention on that is that you may be thinking, well, yeah, but like, gosh, it feels like if I choose a niche, what if I choose the wrong niche? What if I don't like it? Well, it's okay. You can always modify your niche. You're not stuck in it forever. If it ends up being something that it ends up not being a fit for you, that's okay. You can change it. My private clients, we do this a lot. We create multiple niches for different audiences. So there may be messaging for first-time home buyer expertise, but a different audience we're targeting with a different message. And maybe that one is self-employed or investment property or VA, right? So you're not stuck in one narrow niche, although what I encourage people to do is pick one first, build it out, and then you can either change or you can add additional niches. All right, so I'm going to give you some examples of some unique value propositions in the marketplace that are done by both loan officers and real estate agents, and we'll go through these really, really quick. But this first one, right? So this was a Facebook webpage from, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not even sure if it's in existence, but please take a look. And I want you to take a moment, pull yourself out of the industry, put yourself into the position of a first-time home buyer. You know nothing. You don't know anything about interest rates. You know nothing about a 1008, a 1003. What's an appraisal? How much money do I need to have for a down payment? What is a DTI? I've never even heard. I have no idea. I've heard of a credit score, but I don't know what mine is. Right? That particular person, that's this target audience. And when I go to someone who knows nothing about buying a home and I say, I'm an expert, we help, in this case, first-time home buyers in Portland, Oregon, that jumps off the page to people who are first-time home buyers in Portland, Oregon, right? Now, somebody who's wanting to buy a luxury home in Las Vegas, this isn't appealing, but that's okay, right? So a great example here of picking a niche, and you'll notice too, it's first-time home buyers and it's in a geographic location, Portland, Oregon. This is an example of both property and product, and really geographic as well. This was a blog that was done. This was probably 3-4 years ago as well. I don't believe this particular team work together on this anymore, but I love it. It's such a great example. Seattle Condo Review. And this is trying to appeal to folks in Seattle, Washington, who are looking for condos. And so they blogged on this and they demonstrated their expertise. And so for folks that are looking to purchase condominiums in Seattle, Washington, this is appealing. That's a message that's again, jumps off the page for them. It's interesting. It's compelling. It's not generic. Other examples of loan officer, this is like profile specialization. So this is an example. Let's see. Okay, so I'll read a little bit of this. Dale is the loan officer. About the middle of the page, it says, Dale has an extensive background and experience in the construction financing industry to make the process stress-free and understandable. He has a strong background in analyzing complex tax returns suitable for the entrepreneurial Scottsdale and Paradise Valley marketplace. So you'll know, like even for me right here, the hard part with this one is it's not compelling in the sense that I can't get at the information very quickly, but what's there is tremendous. Now, so that could be leveraged so much better, but the information itself is really good. So if that was you, I'd say, hey, how can we take these elements regarding who you are and the market that you service, this niche in the marketplace, how can we take that information and really make it jump off the page to people? Another one here. This guy says, I specialize in jumbo and non-traditional mortgage lending. And so again, it's a quick blurb on his page. It's something that could be leveraged more, but like it's an attempt to separate from competitors by sticking a flag in the ground and saying, I'm an expert in non-traditional mortgage lending. This is a gentleman in San Diego, California. It's actually a guy that I've coached for 5+ years. And he has something called PREP, PREPP, the Preferred Real Estate Profit Program. And this is an example of specializing in education. And so I believe it's every 2 weeks. I think it's twice monthly. He holds these PREP educational, it used to be live classes. Now he's doing them via Zoom for real estate agents to come and learn, to be trained, to market, to share, to network, to brainstorm, mastermind together. And so real estate agents come and they're live and they're captive audience, and he teaches, and he does the same thing on these Zoom calls. So for him, it's a huge, compelling. It's actually, when you teach, anytime you stand up and teach, you're viewed as an expert anyway. So for those of you that have that gift at all, man, I'd really encourage you to think about maybe leveraging this concept of being an education expert in your marketplace. Self-employed specialization. This was just a quick snapshot of something off a loan officer's page. And again, I think there's other ways of doing it. You'll notice he says highly experienced, everybody's experienced, quick response, that's fast service, dedicated to client satisfaction, but at least there's a bullet point on there, specializing in self-employed borrowers. That's what we're looking for. Now that could be blown up, that could be shouted from the rooftops, that could be leveraged in so many different ways, but the information there is great. This one was just a search I did a few years ago. I typed in Jumbo Mortgage San Diego and Jumbo Mortgage Los Angeles into Google, and there was YouTube channels and with links to a company who is the Los Angeles jumbo loan expert. And again, we don't have time to get into social media and search, but again, when you are appealing to a narrow niche, you're findable in the marketplace. Nobody goes out, not nobody, but like very few people are hop into Google and say loan officer with the best service, right? That's, but if as a customer, I know I'm looking for a luxury home, a jumbo loan, and I'm searching in a local marketplace, I'm findable. I think this is the last example. This is a gentleman, I love this guy. His name's Sam Aligwe, real estate agent. He actually has now changed, but I want to point something out of what he used to do. He brands himself a little bit differently now, but you'll notice in all of his social media, all of his marketing pieces, his email, videos that he was doing, he's got a bow tie on. And he, I think there's an example. Yeah, on his Twitter profile, it used to say licensed realtor specializes in helping first-time home buyers and new construction. So he's distinctive in the fact of how he looks. Sam was, in fact, you can see on the bottom left corner, he branded himself as Sam, your favorite realtor. So Sam, your favorite realtor, always wearing a bow tie, specializing in first-time home buyers and new construction. And Sam did a tremendous job with this and still does to this day. His branding's a little different today, but just an amazing example. And just a quick point before we move into step 2. And I just want to remind all of us of this. It's easy as we start thinking about a niche to own and dominate. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking it's all about the transaction. It's all about this type of loan product or service or whatever. And we need to remember, we're not just offering mortgage loans. We're not. And I think this particular quote is helpful in this respect. And it's by Charles Revson, the founder of Revlon, years and years and years ago. And he said, he was a great, Revlon cosmetic giant. And he said, in the factory, Revlon manufactures cosmetics. However, in the store, we sell hope. They're not selling cosmetics, we're selling hope. And there is an element, a significant element, when you are meeting with real estate agents and you're meeting with borrowers. Yes, we present ourselves as dominating a niche, an expert in that niche, but it goes beyond, far beyond just the product itself. I think it's tremendous, the fact that loan officers and real estate agents, we have the privilege of putting people into a home that they're going to, it's the biggest asset that most Americans are ever going to own. It's the most significant debt they're ever going to incur. Life is lived out of the home. And so we want to it's just a quick reminder that it's not, don't get too overly focused on just the product. It goes beyond that. Okay, so far, what have we covered? Identify your niche. This was step one. All of that was to kind of help get you thinking about a niche that you could own, and also the like my argument for why you want to go narrow. And so we said go narrow, focus on a specific product, service, or location within the lending industry, or something unique that you can deliver to your clients. What's different about you? We brand ourselves as the niche expert in all marketing and referral efforts. And notice that first part, brand yourself. No one is going to come and pin a ribbon on you, a button on you that says first time home buyer expert. It doesn't work that way. Nobody's going to, hand you this giant trophy that says, investment property expert, and you take a picture of it and use it. It doesn't work that way. You have to brand yourself as an expert in a niche of your choosing. And then we said again, we want targeted messaging, not generic messaging. And a targeted message is one where the borrower, the prospect, the real estate agent hears the message and their response is, wow, this message is designed for me. This message solves a problem that I have. It's a solution for me. Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. Take 30 seconds, pull out your worksheet that was emailed to you this morning, and ask yourself, who's my target audience and what's a niche that I could serve? And even right now, just if you can just get a few thoughts down on paper, it's going to help you. And I'll guarantee you there's people on the call right now that are probably halfway through creating their entire value proposition, and great job in doing that. But I'd love to see as many people as possible when we close out this call have their value proposition built. And so how we do this right now, identify your niche and ask yourself, who's my target audience? And right here, you can see on the screen again, that's what your one-page value proposition document looks like. And we're in step one at the very top. What's your niche? In a word, in a short phrase, in a short sentence. And that note at the bottom left of your screen there says messaging designed for a real estate agent may be similar, but it could also be very different than messaging designed for a borrower. So for example, if you are we'll just go back to self-employed expert. If you're a self-employed expert, that's awesome. That's your niche. But the message regarding being a self-employed expert to a real estate agent, it's going to sound a little bit different than how it's going to sound to a borrower. So you just want to keep that in mind. Know who your target audience is when you are articulating your value proposition. All right, great job. Step two, these last few steps will go much, much quicker. And then we'll get you guys out of here. Step two in creating your niche value proposition is creating a headline. And so what are we trying to do? Well, we want to be concise as it relates to your niche. So I say your headline is your niche that you service in a sentence. It's who and where you are and what you specialize in. And another way to say it would be, Twitter friendly, right? Short, concise, quick and to the point, a compelling headline. And we'll give you an example here in a second of what that looks like. But you might ask yourself, if you're struggling at this point regarding generating a headline, again, remember, you have to pick your niche first. And so you've got to ask yourself, what's the most important thing? I want a potential client to know about me or my product and or my service. What's the most important thing? And then I'm going to put that in a sentence. Here's an example of a headline. John Smith, okay, that's our who. John Smith is a loan officer who specializes in short sale credit repair. That's the niche, short sale credit repair in Dallas, Texas. There's our location. Short, sweet, to the point. That's a headline. And with that, we'll move on. Well, actually, what I'd love you to do, take another 30 seconds and create a rough headline as it relates to your niche. So you've picked a niche, and we'll back up here. I'll let you look at this. Again, your headline is your niche in a sentence. So you pick your niche and just write it out in a quick sentence. Who you are, where you are, what do you specialize in? Take a few moments and jot that down. And then we'll move to step 3. You guys are doing a great job. And if you have questions as we're moving through this, feel free to ask. You guys are doing great. I don't have a question yet, so I'm going to keep rolling. Step 3 in creating your value proposition so that you can own a niche in your marketplace. Step 3 is we're going to add 3 key benefits. 3 key benefits. And by that, what we mean is 3 benefits that support your headline, that are going to be benefits to whoever my target audience is that I'm focused on. So we'll give you an example here. We mentioned a moment ago, right? It was John Smith in Dallas, Texas, specializing in short sale credit repair. Okay, that's our headline. Here's 3 potential benefits that support that particular headline for John Smith, the credit repair expert. So benefit 1, free credit report analysis. And you got to imagine too, like for you, that may not sound compelling, and maybe there's something more compelling even, right? But like for a person who is massively struggling with their credit, they don't know what to do. It feels hopeless. Being able to speak to them about, look, like I'm going to take a look at your credit report. I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to help you. We're going to figure this out, right? That resonates with somebody who's depressed regarding their credit. That's appealing. That's attractive. So much more so than saying, I've got great rates or I deliver great service, right? This is something that's an actual benefit to a targeted audience. Benefit 2, perhaps it's, John Smith says, we then, after we analyze your report, we create this personalized step-by-step plan for you to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve. We're going to help you get you in the house you want to get in the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Benefit 3, maybe John Smith says, hey, and I've got a team. It's not just me. It's not just John Smith. I've got a team of folks that work with me that are credit repair experts, and we're going to work together to help get you where you need to go. It's not just me as an expert. I've got a team. So there's 3 key benefits. Okay, so what I'd love you to do is take just a moment. We're in step 3 on your worksheet and identify your 3 key benefits. These are 3 things that would be appealing to your target audience in this niche that you're focused on, right? This niche where you are branding yourself as an expert. What are 3 things that target audience would love? Think about the pain maybe that they're in, problems that they're struggling with. We want to think about what it is that they're looking for, what they're motivated. What are 3 benefits that tie into those needs and wants and desires? All right, we are now to step 4, and we're going to pull it all together at the end. Step 4 is we're taking everything we've done and we merge it into a 15-second MVP, niche value proposition. And why a 15-second MVP? Essentially, the way that you would use a 15-second MVP is it's the same thing as what we've all heard, like an elevator speech, right? You step into an elevator with somebody and you're heading to the top floor and they say, hey, what do you do? This is the answer to that question. And we're not going to drone on and on and on for 30 seconds or a minute. I've actually got about 3 or 4 seconds to capture the attention of the person who asked that question. And so we want to be quick and to the point. We want it to be interesting and different and compelling, right? So this 15-second MVP is simply taking the headline that you've already done. You take those 3 key benefits, and then we time together and verbalize in 15 seconds. And I'll give you an example of that right here. My name's John. I'm a loan officer that specializes in short sale credit repair in Dallas, Texas. I provide free credit report evaluation coupled with a personalized step-by-step plan to help you repair your credit. Additionally, I work with a team of credit repair experts. It's not just me. And they help provide additional support to help ensure your home buying experience is a success. right? So, and of course, yours has got to sound, your value proposition, your 15-second value proposition, it's got to sound like you. So it may be, you may inject humor, maybe it's witty, maybe whatever, but your personality's got to come out in this. But we want it to be clear and concise and to the point, and demonstrate that you're not just a loan officer working for another bank. You're an expert, and you help people in a specific niche. You are the expert, right? You're not just a family doctor. You're the specialist that helps with the XYZ illness, right? You're the one that's there to help the person who's in need in a specific situation. Okay, so take a moment as we wrap and tie your headline and 3 key benefits together into a 15-second niche value proposition. And while you guys are working on that, I'm going to wind things down. We're doing good on time. I was shooting to finish by 5 minutes till the top of the hour, and we're right there. And so we'll kind of begin to wrap up here. So again, to identify and own your niche in the marketplace, it all starts with that MVP, a niche value proposition. That flag in the ground saying, I'm an expert in this particular aspect of the business. Okay, that's how you're going to own a niche. And so just a couple of quick things to think about. I want to encourage you with your niche value proposition. It's using that in everything that you do, all of your marketing efforts. This isn't just something that shows up on your website, although it does, but it's messaging that you use in social media. That'd be definitely in your LinkedIn profile. It'd be in the types of posts that you do, maybe on Facebook, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on Twitter. You're utilizing this type of messaging in your email signature, right? So replacing, I work at XYZ Bank and we deliver great service with a small form. Maybe it's just your headline of your value proposition. And not only that though, too, just a quick reminder, like this fleshes itself out best when you're face-to-face with real estate agents, when you're face-to-face with borrowers and prospects, right? You don't want to go, there's an element when you're face-to-face with people. I always encourage my clients, we want to do about 20% of the talking and ask great, compelling questions and get the other person answering questions and talking. That's attractive. But when we are sharing, we don't want to be talking about things that are generic. We want to make it clear how we're different, how the niche that we fill in the marketplace. So when you're sitting down face-to-face with people, the value proposition it's huge. It's absolutely huge. All right. With that, I'm going to wrap. And thank you guys so much for being on the call today. If for those of you that joined, perhaps you joined late today, maybe you registered and the value proposition worksheet didn't get into your hands this morning, you can email me at j@pressingon.com, and we'll get that turned around and get that worksheet back to you today. And also, I'd say too, I'd open up any questions you have, and I know there's going to be people maybe right now, but probably via email. If you've got questions you want to talk through your value proposition, you can email that to me. You can take your value proposition worksheet, take a picture of it and email it to me, jay@pressingon.com. And if you send that to me, I'll do some back and forth with you. We'll brainstorm on that and see if I'll give you at least my feedback on, is it a compelling value proposition? How could we tweak that? And then how are you going to use it, right? So if you've got questions on that, definitely feel free to email me on that. And with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap. Thanks so much, all of you, for being on the call today. Really, really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great week, and we'll see you again next time.